Fei, who was so happy to meet him again. Fei then introduced Chairman Jiang and General Yang to Lin, saying they are High City's reinforcements. Jiang was happy to meet Lin and praised him for all the hard work. Yang shakes hand with Lin, saying he hopes that they can work together in the future. And then he whispered in Lin's ear that the matter about Liu mispicking him as her husband has been spreaded, so it's best if he doesn't go to High City for a while. Lin understands what General meant is the competitors will think that he is blocking their path and will try to kill him. The Lord then began the celebration and thanked Liu for protecting the city. And for his achievements, he gave him 1 billion credit points and a manor mansion. Also the chance to pick 3 ghost equipment from the ghost storage, and the title of Liu City's guardian. After some time, Yan was taking Lin back, thinking, this kid must have drunk so much for the first time in his entire life. She take him to his house, and the role was switched, as Lin woke up from a drunken state, and finds Yan drunk instead. He puts her in the bed, saying, have a nice sleep. But as Lin was leaving, Yan grabbed his hand and pulled him towards her. She kissed him and said, this is the reward for their hero. And as she was asking if he likes it, Lin pushed her down and kissed her. She gets back to her senses from the shock, but Lin gets unconscious. Then the next morning, Lin woke up and couldn't remember what happened last night. He went in the hall and asked Yan if he will make breakfast again. But she said she woke up early, so she made some for him. But as soon as Lin took the first bite, his face went pale. She asked how is it, and he said it's delicious, while thinking he shouldn't seek a beating in the morning. Yan then tells him that she needs to go to the West City for a trip, so when he leaves, remember to lock the door. She then quickly left while thinking, after what he did to her, she doesn't have the courage to see him anymore. After some time, Lin decides to continue his mission of finding his third ghost spirit. He asked Hua if she can find the ghost energy's direction from the letter. Hua shook her head and Lin realized that the ghost letter's energy dispersed. He thought only Leader Zhu's daughter are good at tracking, so his only option is to get help from them. After a while, Lin went to the High City Ghost Master Union headquarters and asked Leader Zhu for some help. Zhu wants to make good relationship with Lin, so he happily asked him what can he help him with. Lin said he came to find his daughters, as he wished for their help to find a ghost spirit. He gave them the letter and asked if they can sense the ghost energy source. Yu checked the letter and said sense is kinda blurred, but the rough location can be confirmed. Lin gets happy to hear that and asked Zhu if he can borrow his daughter for a few days. He explained that he wants her to go and trace down the ghost, and he promised to definitely protect her. Zhu was thinking there won't be a problem about safety, but to hand his daughter to a boy for a few days is risky. He asked Yu about her decision, and she happily agreed to go with Lin. Ling also said that she will go together as she is better at confirming the location. Zhu couldn't believe that his daughters are offering themselves, buy one get one free. Lin then said goodbye to them and tells them that he will come to pick them tomorrow morning. As he was walking in the city, someone intentionally bumped into him. And to Lin's surprise, it was Liu. She tells him that her father wishes for him to go with her to the City Lord mansion, as he has something important he wants to talk with him. Lin agreed to go, while thinking he can try to find about the temple from the High City Lord, as he must know some information. After some time, Lin reached the City Lord's mansion, where the Lord was already waiting for him. The Lord said he is more handsome than him when he was younger, so no wonder girls like him. He then tells Lin to follow him, as he has something to show to him. Lin thought the City Lord looks strong, and he doesn't look like someone who can only live 5 years. The Lord was taking them to a secret place that even Liu never saw before. They entered a lift, and after 10 minutes of going down, it finally stopped. The Lord said they arrived. It's the High City's gold chamber. He explained this place is a chamber that only the Lord can use, placed with some special ghost spirits. Lin said, isn't this place similar to the Ghost Master Union's gold prison? The Lord said he knows a lot, but more accurately saying should be, the Union Gold Prison is similar to this place, as this chamber was made by his father 80 years ago. That year, his father, become High City's leader, personally experienced the Ghost Descent incident. And in just a year, evil spirits occupied the entire world, all sorts of communication was cut off, and High City's population got reduced by 99%. Thanks to the shelter which his father made, the remaining people survived. And after a few years of hiding and training, he nurtured the first generation of physic body ghost master including himself. They obtain the power to fight the evil spirits, and this become one of the few cities that exist after the incident. At that time, the ghost masters forcefully tamed evil spirits, but they often didn't get to live for very long. There were many cases where ghost spirit devoured the body. So his father created this chamber, used to imprison ghost masters who were about to die, also walked into one of the rooms, and never came out ever again. So he inherited his father's will, continued to expand the defense, also discovered ways to create normal ghost spirits. And Gold Prison was established by Ghost Master Union. It's made by copying their design and construction. He then reached outside room number 5 and said, "This ghost spirit is what they collected not long ago. It doesn't have vision, but can sense space, use sound waves to kill people, and can also copy anyone's voice." Room number 2 spirit is also very special. Other than its owner human, anyone who sees it will die. And no one knew its true appearance even until now. Lin asked, if a person will die after being seen, then how did they lock it inside? The Lord said, it's way too dangerous, so they wanted to kill it. But after they created the gold box, which can absorb ghost spirit, they decided to eternally seal it in the chamber, then lock it within the box. After a while, he was telling Lin, if one day humans started war, then these spirits will become the trump card to protect the high city. Liu gets confused and asked, did he mean that humans fighting among themselves? Her father replied, observing history, once there is a crisis, humans work together. Once it's too peaceful, humans start war again. And according to history books, human countries created nuclear weapons. So humans are a race, which causes trouble to get themselves into a state of extinction. The Lord then tells Lin that he has been observing him for a period of time now. These many years, he has seen many genius ghost masters, but many were just having the spotlight for once and became dim. Some youngsters used all sorts of methods to tame strong and high-rank ghost spirit, and some even offered their life force, caused the whole city to die with them. Even though he is young, but he is very responsible, and is the most excellent one that he has seen thus far. In the past years, he has been nurturing ghost masters himself, so once he dies, many people will come after High City's army. Union wants to directly control High City's power, and all the other families are also after High City's lord position. After he die, if there isn't a strong ghost master to dominate and lead the city, all forces will fight for the position, and cause millions of people to get dragged into the war. Liu realized her mistake, that she was being inconsiderate, as what her father said is right. Lin asked, since his goal is to make a strong city lord, then wouldn't it be better to make Miss Liu an Earth Fiend rank ghost master? He laughed while saying, it isn't something that can be achieved in 1 or 2 years, even for physic ghost masters. But still, he tells Liu that Lin Feng has an extreme growth speed, so she can work hard too. And if she manages to succeed, she can have the city lord position. Lin gets happy and said okay to it. After a while, the Lord was saying to Lin, no matter what decision he make, he still wishes him to become friends with Liu, and Lin replied positively. Lin then asked him if he ever heard of Lonely Temple. The Lord replied, that name sounds familiar. And after thinking for a while, he remembered that 50 years ago, it was a nun temple that was destroyed by ghosts. After the appearance of ghosts, they also nurtured many strong ghost masters, but only girls, and they never interacted with the outside world. The Lord said, 50 years ago, he went to the north side to travel and sensed a scary ghost energy. Later, he found out that a strong evil spirit went uncontrolled and destroyed the whole Lonely Temple. Lin asked what happened after that, and if no one goes there anymore. Lord replied yes, and that evil spirit no longer shows itself, so maybe it is still in the Lonely Temple. Then the next day, Zhu tells Lin to take care of his daughters. The sisters then happily get on his horse and were excited to go with Lin. Their father was crying after seeing how his daughters are happily leaving him alone. After a while, Lin asked you if she sensed any changes in direction. She replied no, and it's still at northwest. Lin was thinking, if what the Lord said is true, then the temple spirit will be strong and ruthless, so before going there, he need to quickly level up. He then remembered, when Tong leveled up, he obtained 2 lottery draw chances, so he decides to use it. After spinning the wheel, he get critical damage transfer and connect mind. In critical damage transfer, he can transfer his damage to ghost spirit if attacked is ineffective to ghost, like normal weapon, and if it's effective, then all spirits will share the damage. Lin thought this ability is equivalent to extra life since he was almost assassinated during the raiding ceremony. Then, in Mind Connect, he can share and connect with his spirits to face his opponent. It's like a telepathy. Meanwhile, the mailman reached the lonely temple. After going inside, he saw an umbrella flying in the sky. The umbrella then gives him a letter for delivery, which he accepted. At the same time, at High City West Side Canyon, 3 ghost masters were waiting for Lin so they can ambush him. After a while, Lin arrived there and was saying that they will take a rest after passing this canyon. One of the master informed the sniper that Lin Feng has arrived. The sniper aims at Lin and then shoots at him. The bullet pierced him, and then the critical damage transfer skill activated. Lin came back to life and realized that someone sneak attacked him. Tong and Hua came out and used their aura to protect Lin. The sisters asked what happened and if he is alright. Lin tells them to not worry, and then he takes out the bullet from inside his body. The sniper was confused and wondered why Lin Feng is still alive, as the bullet sure hit him. Lin looked at the sniper and thought, if they are ambushing him on this path, then this must be one of High City's team with great teamwork. He thought there must be a high-rank ghost master, so he ran from there to fix the area advantage. After a while, Lin was thinking that after the Liu City fight, the news of him becoming S-rank will most likely be known by many. So, if those people dare to come, then there must be someone of Earth Fiend rank. He knew that he might lose, but there was no other way, as the ghost masters were approaching him. They reached outside Hua's ghost territory, while Lin was thinking he need to let them enter Hua's territory before they summon their spirits. One of them asked his leader King if they should summon their ghost spirits. But King arrogantly refused, saying he doesn't want to give Lin a chance to prepare, and then he dashed in. After going inside, he challenged Lin to come out and fight him. Ling then tells Lin that the man challenging him is the High City's senior ghost master of Earth Fiend rank, who has 3 ghost spirits. They went close to the 2 ghost masters, and King said Lin is a talented ghost master, but it's a pity that he blocked someone's path. Lin smiled and asked if he really thinks that he can win. King replied positively and said if he ran away just now, he might have survived, but it's too late now. Ling asked the ghost master why is he attacking Lin and if there is some misunderstanding. King said it's not a misunderstanding, and because he has a good relationship with clan leader Zhu, so he didn't want to kill Ling and Yu, but now that they saw him, so they need to die as well. King and the other ghost master then take out their ghost tokens, so they can summon their spirits. But King starts sweating, as he wasn't able to summon his spirit anymore. Lin then smiled evilly while saying, ghost spirits doesn't work here. And then, Hua appeared behind them and killed both of the ghost masters. The sisters couldn't believe their eyes that Lin easily killed 2 high-rank ghost masters. Lin looked at their face and said, if he didn't kill him and let him grasp chance, then he is the one who will die. Lin then quickly left in a hurry while saying, he figured out their motive, so this place isn't safe. The sniper couldn't believe that both his Uncle King and his friend died. He take out the communication device while thinking if Lin Feng is also an Earth Fiend rank ghost master, and that he needs to quickly inform the young master. After a while, in a deserted land, Lin said it's getting dark, so they should rest. He destroyed an evil spirit's nest, thinking it's a good place to camp. After a while, they were enjoying their food. Ling asked him how did he bring so much food with him, and even the bun was still hot. Lin replied, it's storage space, and it should be counted as a ghost spirit treasure. Ling then said, it's been a while already, so why hasn't her sister come back from the toilet? Lin went to check on her and saw Yu getting attacked by a snake. But before it could kill her, Lin sent the snake flying with a punch. After some time, Lin tells her to quickly sleep, as tomorrow will be a long trip. Yu said she is quite scared and asked Lin to sleep next to her. Lin gets flustered and said okay to it. Then the next morning, the sisters were sleeping soundly, while Lin was thinking if every girl sleep like this. After some time, Lin was saying that they are 500 kilometers away from the high city, and soon they will reach their destination. And then, the system informed him that he found the unknown female ghost's location and received 5 favorability for completing the mission. Ling gets surprised after seeing the temple and asked if that's the lonely temple. Suddenly, Yu gets scared and shouted, it's a ghost. Lin tells her to not worry and explained, it's a male ghost. After delivering the letter and taking his reward, the male ghost left. They checked the letter that says, help Ghost Umbrella. While Lin was thinking what it meant by that, the system gave him the mission to help the Orange Umbrella escape. Lin said they need to help the Orange Umbrella to escape, but Ling said she can see that both sides are strong and all of them are above S rank. Lin thought, even though Hua didn't get upgraded to Abyss rank, but she can still use her skills. He then ordered Hua to use Flash and help the orange umbrella escape to 30 kilometers away, then come back and use Conceal. And just as Lin expected, he passed the mission easily and earned 10 favorability points. Suddenly, Ling tells him to look ahead as the building started moving. Before Lin and the others could escape, they got trapped inside the temple. Their head starts hurting, so Lin realized this is not just a temple but a ghost territory. He then heard that same sound again, that started controlling the other ghost spirits. Lin used his newly acquired skill, Mind Connect, to control Hua and Tong. And then he ordered them to come back to him. The system gave him the third companion favorability mission to enter Lonely Temple and find the unknown female ghost. And as Lin was about to enter, he noticed a ghost hitting the wooden fish and wondered if that nun is the ghost territory owner, and even the cat-faced ghost was sitting behind her. Yu was trembling in fear and said she is too scared to enter. Lin tells the sisters to not be scared and follow him. And as soon as they entered the temple, the environment gets changed. Two girls arrive and ask them who they are. They then scolds Lin, saying, "Didn't he know this is a nun temple, so a boy can't enter there?" One of them then send the flare signal to call the nunnery master. And in just some seconds, every woman of the temple arrived and gets shocked to see a man in their temple. Suddenly, they all move aside as the nunnery master arrived. A beautiful nun introduced herself as Chu, the master of the Lonely Temple. She asked Lin if he is a ghost master, and he hesitantly replied, yes he is. She then gets serious and asked about the girls behind him. Ling said they are his cousins, they were chased by a ghost, so they ran there. Other girls of the temple start whispering that they do look alike, so they must be saying the truth. Chu said males can't enter the Lonely Temple, so they should leave immediately. Lin thought he can't leave just like that, and then he said there are many ghosts outside, and his sisters are tired, so please let them stay there for a few days. Yu also joined by saying that Lonely Temple taken people who have nowhere to go, so they came to seek help. Chu sighed, saying they are pitiful people, while the other girls were talking that the nunnery master won't easily make an exception. But then to their surprise, Chu ordered someone to arrange 2 rooms for Lin and the sisters. The girls wondered what their master is thinking, as all these years, Lonely Temple has never taken in any boy. Chu then tells Lin and the others to follow her, and they thanked her for her help. Lin saw the place where he saw the nun hitting the wooden fish, and also thought that this place is much bigger than Hua's mansion. A disciple then informed them that they will live at Guyu Courtyard and will eat in the back dining room. Lin and the sisters bowed and thanked the disciple, who introduced herself and Xin Lion. After a while, they checked their communication devices, but there was no signal. Ling said it's strange, since Lonely Temple was destroyed 50 years ago, but everyone there is living well, and it doesn't look like an act of a ghost. Yu added, could it be that they traveled through time? Lin refused, saying something similar happened with him in Hua's ghost territory, so this is also just a memory being repeated, so they need to solve the problem. The sisters said if this place is Nunnery Master's ghost territory, and if she chose this part, then her problem is. And then all 3 said at the same time, Lonely Temple being destroyed. Lin then tells the sisters to interact with the people there while he will go out to verify his guess. The sisters heard some women talking that there is no good man, and Ping City's ghost master locked a few pretty girls to vent his anger. One of them added, recently there are ghost master union that seems to be managing all the ghost masters. Yu offered her help to fetch water while praising the woman she was talking to. The sisters were getting friendly so they can get some information about the temple. The woman was saying how ghost masters control everything and use justice to bully people. She said ghosts only kill people, but human isn't simple, they fear the strong and bully the weak, much scarier than the ghosts. Meanwhile, Lin was spying on some disciples who were talking about him that he is so handsome. He then reached the wall of the territory and thought, as expected, this is the edge of the ghost territory, can see the scenery but can't leave. After a while, the 3 of them exchanged the information they gathered. Yu tells Lin that they can stay for a few more days and her father will be fine alone. Then the disciple came and tells them to follow her to the dining room. After some time, as the sisters were about to eat food, Lin tells them that they can't eat the ghost food, so they will secretly exchange it with the food they brought. and just as Lin expected, the ghost food disappeared after being stored inside the storage space, because it's virtual. Lin then noticed Chu, so he tells the sisters to wait, while he will go and talk to Nunnery Master. He went close to Chu and thanked her for taking them in. He was thinking that even though she doesn't have hair, but the master still looks so pretty. Lin then hesitantly said that the ghost chasing them is an Abyss Rank 1 evil spirit, so he is scared that he brought them trouble. Chu said if Lin survived an Abyss Rank, then he must be at least a S Rank Ghost Master, to which Lin replied positively. She then tells him to not worry and said if that Abyss Rank evil spirit came, then she will deal with it. Also tells him to meet her tomorrow at the Mindful Hall. Lin was shocked by the fact how she calmly said that she will deal with the Abyss Rank Ghost Spirit and wondered just how strong she is and how did the temple get destroyed. Then the next morning, Lin went to the Mindful Hall and see Master Chu knocking the wooden fish. He greeted her and she tells him to take a seat. He asked her that the Buddha statue is on other side, so why is she knocking the fish while facing the white wall? She replied, in this era of charred souls, it's better to rely on oneself rather than seek God, better to cultivate the mind rather than to cultivate Buddhahood. Lin said okay and asked why did she wanted to meet him. He was waiting for her to answer, but she was not saying anything. 1 hour later, he wondered why isn't she saying anything, and if he has to keep sitting down there. It's been 2 hours, and she tells Lin that he has patience. She then tells him to leave and come tomorrow at the same timing, so Lin said okay to it. While leaving, Lin was wondering what is she thinking, or if it's that she can't trust him to say, or she has her own plans. Then the next day, Yu was asking her sister if she see Lin Feng, and she replied that he gone to the Mindful Hall. Meanwhile, inside the hall, Lin was thinking how she knocked until afternoon again, and this time, just the duration was longer. She then tells him to come tomorrow at the same time. It's the third day of Master Chu knocking the wooden fish without saying anything. Lin was thinking, knocked fish's sound is different than the previous mental attack, it's put you at ease and focused. He wondered if she is testing him, and this is the way to trigger the ghost territory setting. On the 7th day, Lin returned at night from his hearing session. Yu tells him that Sister Qin is giving birth tomorrow, so they made lanterns to bless her. The 2 disciples helping them then take their leave. Yu was telling them to come again tomorrow, while Lin said to Ling that they seemed to have great relationship with them. The sisters then shared the information with Lin that everyone in the temple thinks that they are living at the lonely temple from 50 years ago. It has a total of 30 nuns, 10 are ghost masters responsible to protect everyone. Some are very strong, like the 2 from before. Their names are Lion and Yuan, and they both are S-rank ghost masters with 2 evil spirits. Ling added that the ghost masters there all tamed evil spirits, and they never gone out of control before. Lin thought, at this timing, ghost masters already grasped method to nurture spirit. But tamed evil spirit isn't stable, so it seems like Lonely Temple is an exception. They didn't get reverse devour by evil spirit, might be related to cultivation. And Master Chu knocking wooden fish is a type of method to cultivate, so she is trying to increase his mind. Yu then tells him that Nunnery Master is an orphan, taken in by old master of the temple. After showing strong power, she had to take over the job after old master died. She has 3 ghost spirits, but only seen Abyss Rank 1 before, the other 2 were never seen before. Lin thought it's scary, since she was already this strong 50 years ago, so now he doesn't even know what rank she became. Then the next day, Lin went to the Mindful Hall as usual. But he gets surprised to see that Nunnery Master wasn't knocking wooden fish today. The system activated the mission for accompany Lonely Nunnery Master for 10 days to increase companion favorability. Lin gets surprised as it triggered 4th Ghost Spirit, a chance to bind with strong Nunnery Master. She smiled and said he could last for 10 days without complaining. He is better than she thought. As Lin was thanking her for the praise, she tells him to follow her. After traveling for a while, they arrived at a strange place. The Nunnery Master then puts her hand on a wall, and a secret door opened. After going inside, she explained that this place is the oldest palace, and the 3 Buddhas are made of pure gold that are enshrined. After evil spirits going around destroying things, her master made the Buddhas' gold body in gold paint, turned this place into a gold shelter, thus allowing people inside the temple to survive. She then asked Lin what does he think a ghost is. She has been researching ghosts since they started to appear. This world has more than 100 types of ghosts. She then showed him her ghost spirit. Lin thought it's such an evil spirit. Is this the ghost nunnery master tamed? She tells him to look, as this is the ghost she tamed. But when she go near it, her hand becomes like this. If touched by it, anyone will die instantly, including her. So that's why she always has been curious to what ghosts are, a special energy, a law, or an aura. Until today, she never figured out the ghost's composition and cause, and she brought him today to show him something. She takes out a scroll from a gold box. Lin looked carefully, as it was a painting of a beautiful girl. After she rolled the painting, Lin realized that this ghost painting is the one that destroyed the Lonely Temple 50 years ago. Master Chu then asked him if he is still willing to help her, even after seeing the painting, to which Lin replied positively. She said, then she will let him go inside the world of ghost drawing to see things. She explained, in the world of ghost drawing, he can see special ghost territory, some memory left behind by ghost drawing. She gives him a handkerchief, saying, this is her cousin's token, so take it and go in there, and assured him that nothing will happen to him. After going inside, Lin saw an apocalypse scene and wondered if this is a ghost drawing world. But then he thought, ghost drawing is a part of the Lonely Temple's illusion, so this world must also be made by Nunnery Master. After walking around for a while, he suddenly gets alerted as he sensed a strong evil aura. He noticed some ghost masters going towards it, and then they disappeared. And then to Lin's surprise, the painting started devouring the whole city's evil ghosts. After it devoured them all, he returned to the Lonely Temple and said, her action is hunting. Chu replied yes, she has devour ability, so the painting covered entire city, which is able to hunt all ghosts. It will even kill humans without hesitation. That same night, the weather was bad and it was lightning. Lin was wondering why it become like this again. Yu was saying that this ghost territory is so scary. Ling added, this lighting outside is way too strange. Lin thought she is right, and since morning, he started to have a bad feeling that something bad is going to happen. He gets ready and tells the sisters to wait while he will go out to take a look. As soon as he opened the room's door, he gets scared by a scary ghost aura. The sisters were trembling and Ling asked about the scary pressure. Lin realized that the Lonely Temple destruction incident is happening now. After some time, Lin woke up while saying what is going on, as the last thing he remembered was that he fainted after being hit by ghost energy. He checked the surrounding and saw that he returned to the real world. He quickly went inside a room and gets relieved to see that both the sisters are fine. He woke them up and said the illusion disappeared. He explained that they came out of the illusion but is still inside the ghost territory of the ghost nun. The sisters get sad, thinking they made so many friends, but now they can't see them anymore. But then, they notice that the nuns left them the tokens, so they can summon them in the future. Meanwhile, Lin was thinking, the nunnery master said that even if she is killed, the ghost painting will be locked up, so it still should be in the gold house. They went outside and see, there really was no one there. They asked him if that ghost painting is in the gold house, and he replied positively. They reached the end, but found nothing there. Lin thought, the painting is sealed by Gold House, so of course it's not in the virtual ghost territory, but in the real Lonely Temple. The system then reminds him to complete the mission of entering the Lonely Temple to find the unknown female ghost. He then asked Yu if she can sense the previous ghost letter female ghost. She tracked it and said she is not far away. They reached the location, and the system congratulates him for completing the mission of finding Ghost Umbrella. He then gets a new mission of saving the Ghost Umbrella's clone from Ghost Territory's Lonely Temple. Lin understands that this Ghost Umbrella is the female ghost that writes the letter and has a clone. And as soon as Lin entered the barrier, the umbrella went close to him. Lin then ordered Hua to use Flash Teleport and take them out of there. They teleported out of the Ghost Territory, and the system informed that he obtained 5 favorability points for completing the mission. The sisters wondered where they are, and why do they feel like it's not summer now. Lin said it's indeed strange, as from the surrounding environment, it seems to be the end of autumn and starting of winter, but they only stayed 10 days inside the Lonely Temple. They then noticed someone at a distance, so they decides to ask them. A party of ghost masters were talking about how they killed 2 B-rank ghosts and got 1 ghost weapon today. Suddenly, they noticed a horse coming towards them. They said, a horse can't run that fast, so it must be a ghost spirit. They stopped the car and were ready to fight the ghost horse approaching them. Lin went close to them and asked, where are they? They replied, it's near Pin City, and asked who Lin and the others are. Lin said, they are the ghost masters from the High City and are looking for the Lonely Temple. The ghost masters whispered, if this man has such a special ghost horse and he came safely from High City, then he must be a big figure. The leader of the team then tells Lin, the Lonely Temple is on New Jean Mountain of the North 3rd Defense Line. He showed him the tracking device to show where they currently are. But as soon as Lin looked at the device, he gets shocked. The device was showing him the current date, that is 1 year in the future. He and the sisters entered the Lonely Temple in year 2135, the 7th of October, and now it's 2136. Lin understand that the time flow in Lonely Temple territory is different from the outside world, as it's already been a year in outside world. After they left, the Ghost Masters thinks he is crazy and those two pretty girls are wasted. Ling asked him if they are going to Jean Mountain to find the Lonely Temple, but Lin said they will first find a place to rest. He apologized, saying he only wanted their help for a few days, yet. But the sisters stopped him and said it's fine, as no one could expect such things to happen, and you wondered if their father is alright. Meanwhile, at High City, inside Ju's mansion, Ju was crying and cursing Lin for stealing his daughters. Then, later at night, in Pin City First Defense Food Town, Lin and the others booked a hotel to stay. Inside his room, he was apologizing to Hua since he couldn't let her out in Lonely Temple. At the same time, the orange umbrella from earlier was looking for Lin. Suddenly, Hua gets alerted as she sensed someone approaching them. Lin saw the orange umbrella and remembered that Hua saved it by using her flash. And then, the umbrella opened its ghost territory and summoned Lin in it. Inside, the system gave Lin a new mission of saving the third umbrella from the Ghost Master's headquarters, and then he will be able to bind it. Lin realized that the orange and pink umbrellas are the same ghost, and this female ghost doesn't only have two clones. One is trapped in the Ghost Master Alliance headquarters. He wondered if the third umbrella is sealed inside the gold prison Leader Yan mentioned about. He didn't want to break into the prison, but thought that it has so many clones, and if the three umbrellas become one, there might be some hidden skills. He then tells the umbrella to come with him first, and then he will go and save the other umbrella in the future. The umbrella agreed to follow him, and then Lin returned to the real world. Then the next day, Lin and the sisters were on their way to the Lonely Temple. They searched for an afternoon, but still couldn't find its location. Yu noticed something in the distance and asked Lin, "What is that?" He replied, "It's an ancient abandoned city that has 1,000 years of history." And Yu asked why the stone wall is too short. Lin explained it's to defend against humans, not ghosts, and according to what he heard, at that time, people were still living a world without ghosts. Yu then tells him that behind the city wall there seems to be a temple. After a while, they reach the location and find a small abandoned temple. Ling informed him that there is a ghost nearby. Lin said it's perfect and that they can summon Lion and Yuan now. The evil spirit attacked the sisters, and they summoned the nun spirits, Lion and Yuan. And to their surprise, the nuns easily killed the evil spirit. Lin thought to be able to kill a high-rank ghost instantly without even opening ghost territory. These two nuns should be of S rank. The sisters were happy to see them again, but said that it's a pity they no longer have consciousness. The nuns then started moving in a direction, so Lin said to follow them, thinking they must be trying to take them to the Lonely Temple. And just as he expected, the nuns stopped outside the Lonely Temple. Lin tells the sisters to be careful and slowly went in the temple. Inside, the yard and lobby were full of dead bones, so Lin said ghost painting massacre was so tragic. But then, to his surprise, Ling tells him that all the bones there are of men. Lin checked the bones and said indeed, these skeletons are obviously oversized. This doesn't belong to nunnery girls. Lin said, from the scene situation, they died in battle, and Ling asked, where did so many men come from? He then find an identity card of Pin City's Ghost Master in one of the skeleton. After checking, they got to know that they all are Pin City's Ghost Masters. Lin then suggested the sisters to go and check the ghost painting. As they were walking towards the gold room, they encountered an evil spirit. It was the nunnery's master spirit, Ghost Avalokitesvara, rank 1 Abyss spirit. Lin remembered that no matter who is touching it, he or she will die. The evil spirit then used his ghost aura, so Hua did the same to protect Lin. Lin then tells Tong to carefully attack it, and don't let it touch her, no matter what. Tong attacked the spirit, but her sword got stopped before it could touch it. Lin thought it's scary, as even the weapons also get destroyed. The evil spirit was about to kill Tong, but Lin caught her from the rope and dragged her back. They were in rough situation, as Xu and Hua's ghost territory was also collapsing. The evil spirit was about to kill Lin, but Hua used her flash at the right time. The sisters said the gap between their abilities is too much, so they are no match at all. Lin then take out the nunnery's master token and said, this time, their only option is to summon the nunnery master. He remembered, the nunnery master told him to recite her Dharma name while using this Buddha pearl, and she promised help him. Lin did what she asked for, and then they started hearing the wooden fish sound. The ghost domain was slowly covering the entire Jishao. The nunnery master evil spirit felt immense pain as she was hearing the knocking sound. And in just some time, all the evil spirits get suppressed. Lin thought, because the binding has not been successful, the nunnery master can't show up, but just the ghost domain can greatly weaken the enemy. He and Tong then repaired the ghost spirit as it was not turned into dust. After fixing the sword, they went inside the temple again. Inside, the evil spirit was crying in pain, and Lin thought the next step is to destroy the extreme cold barrier. He then summoned the ghost mirror from his inventory. He created clones of Tong and Hua and then ordered Hua to use her ghost flame. Lin thought, when Ghost Mirror copies the enemy, it can only copy some of the abilities he has learned, but copying your own people can reach 100%. The evil spirit starts burning while Lin muttered, 3 times the extreme flame will not be able to break through his extreme cold barrier. He then ordered Tong to use Ghost Sword and kill the spirit. The system gives him 8,000 experience points for killing the Abyss Rank 1 Ghost Spirit. He got 2 ghost fragments and a cold jade bottle that slows down things in Ghost Domain by 5 times within 10 seconds. The system then tells him that Tong can be upgraded, and if he wants to continue with the upgrade, so Lin replied positively. After upgrade, Tong's level increased to Abyss Tier 1. She learned to attack with cold hands, which is more effective against specific ghosts. Also, Lin's body strengthened by 6 times. Yu then asked Lin, what exactly is a magical ghost mirror? Suddenly, the jade bottle released some aura, which surprised everyone. They then noticed a picture in the mirror. The person in the picture is none other than the nunnery master of Lonely Temple. Lin realized that this is the memory of that evil spirit Guanyin. The nunnery master noticed a woman running to save her life. A man caught her and asked where is she running. He then takes her back to the place she ran from. A ghost master was about to hit her while saying, it's a pity that she has a long mouth, so he has to teach her a lesson. But before he could hit her, someone stopped him. It's the nunnery master, who asked him why he wants to bully women. He said, this little nun looks so juicy, and as he was about to touch her, his body starts freezing. Chu used her spirit to kill the ghost master, which scared the other men. They got too scared and realized, this nun is a ghost master of rank S. She then angrily asked them who they are and why they wants to bully women. Both men apologized, saying, the Y family is the one who wants all these women. They are a big family of ghost masters entrenched in the northeast. No one can afford to anger them. A girl said, they are all forced as human beings. They have been caught and were all imprisoned in Y's house. Master Chu was crushing the man's hand as he was screaming in pain, saying, he is only in charge of catching people. He didn't do anything. Suddenly, Master Chu noticed a handkerchief wrapped around his hand and realized that this is her cousin's. She took it from him and asked, where did he get this handkerchief from? He hesitantly said, last night, there was a girl who couldn't bear the humiliation and committed suicide, and this handkerchief was left behind by her. He tried to explain, it really has nothing to do with him, while Master Chu clenches her fist in anger. After some time, at Y. Buffin's private house, she killed all the men present there, and saved the girls. The girls asked about Y. Buffin while trembling in fear. Chu tells them to not worry, and that he will never hurt them again, as he is already dead. After some time, the head of the Y family, Y. Bubin, was furious to know that someone killed his brother. His subordinate informed him, the woman who committed suicide last night was the cousin of the Lonely Temple Master, so she killed him to take revenge. Angered, Bubin said he will let the world know what happens when someone offend the Y family. After some time, inside the temple, Master Chu tells Lion and Yuan to guard the gates, as the action today might lead to reprisals. Ling said everyone who saw them at that time was dead, so no one should be able to find out, right? Master Chu replied, the Y residence is huge and there will inevitably be fish that slip through the net, so they still can't take it lightly. She needed some materials to set up the Dharma circle, so she ordered her spirit to go to the valley and bring the materials. At the same time, Y. Bubin and his men were secretly approaching the Lonely Temple. Bubin tells his men that they would take advantage of the thunderstorm to sneak into the secret path of the back mountain quickly. He ordered them to make sure not even a single bug left alive. Master Chu's spirit was on her way to collect the materials when she noticed something in the direction of the temple. She realized that someone is attacking the temple, so she rushed back quickly. Inside the temple, the nuns were trying to protect the women, while wise men were attacking and forcing them. Meanwhile, Master Chu was losing to Wai Bubin as he killed one of her spirit. She thought the first spirit went out and the second got defeated, so if she used the third one to deal with Wai and his men, she won't be able to keep the temple safe. Wai Bubin was laughing, asking if she really is the undefeated nunnery master. Lion shouted, "What's there to be proud of? And if it wasn't for their sneak attack, he could have never defeated Master Chu." He replied, "The world only cares about winners and losers, no one cares about the means, and soon, all the women in the nunnery will belong to him." Master Chu then gives Lion the key of the gold chamber and tells her to release the ghost painting. Lion quickly went to release the painting, while Master Chu tried to stop Wai Bubin. After a while, as wise men were forcing the women, they noticed something. They noticed a painting in the sky, which started attacking them. It devoured them along with their spirits. To Wai Bubin's surprise, even his spirit got devoured by the ghost painting. Master Chu then summoned her third spirit, Shadow, and ordered him to kill Bubin. Unable to defend himself, Bubin got cut into several pieces. Suddenly, Yuan came running and informed Master Chu that the ghost painting is out of control and is attacking its own people now. Chu realized it's too bad since it devoured too many powerful spirits in an instant, so its power has increased too much. She knows if it is allowed to go on like this, let alone the nunnery temple, millions of people in the surrounding cities will suffer. She said she will never let this happen and ordered her third spirit to use the trick. She then got merged with her spirit and released a strong ghost energy. Lion and Yan shouted at her to stop merging, or this will kill her. Suddenly, the mirror starts releasing a strong light, which blocked Lin's and others' vision. And then, the screen on the mirror disappeared. Ling said, "So this was the truth back then, and you wondered if the nunnery master managed to control the ghost painting." Lin then tells them to go to the golden house, since it's not far ahead. As they reach the location, they notice the remains of the nunnery master. Lin said the nunnery master used her life force to seal the painting back, so it should be inside the gold house. He went close to the skeleton and thought, once he controlled the ghost painting and fulfill her wish, she can also rest in peace. He was about to open the lock, but then he stopped, saying they can't go in yet. He said, although the nunnery master sealed the painting, it may not be sealed in the golden box, so if they open the door, then it will be released. The sisters agreed, and Yu asked if the ghost painting is something the nunnery master was afraid of, so can they really suppress it now? Lin realized, even if it won't kill him because of the bloody handkerchief, but he can't stop it from leaving the temple. Yu replied, it if goes out to wreak havoc, the nunnery master's hard work will be in vain. Lin said, therefore, the key to control is to get in touch with ghost painting without releasing it, and wondered, how can they do it? He thought, most of the golden house is hidden in the mountain and the space is close to a cube. He then tells the sisters to help him measure the size of the golden house. While measuring the house, the sisters asked why they are measuring it, and what did he think of. Lin replied, since he can't stop the ghost painting from leaving the golden house, so he will build another golden house outside. First build the frame of the house out of wood, then paste gold paper on the wall, and seal all gaps with gold paint. And finally let Hu has ability to engrave restrictions, and as long as Tong cannot get out, other ghosts will not be able to go out either. The sisters said it's a good idea, as even if the ghost draws the first layer, it can't get out of the second layer. After the measurement was complete, he tells the sister to collect the bones of the nunnery master to bury them, and then go down the mountain to buy gold. After a while, when they were looking for a good place to bury Master Chu's remains, they noticed smoke at a distance. They went near it and find an old woman, asking who they are. Ling said they are the ghost masters and asks her what is she doing in such a precipitous barren mountain. The old woman replied she had an old friend who used to live in Lonely Temple 50 years ago when it was destroyed. Suddenly, Yu said she has seen this woman before. She recognized that this old woman is Sister Qin. Lin was shocked to know that she is still alive, because the temple was destroyed back then. Qin asked how do they know her? To which Lin replied he was entrusted by the ghost of the nunnery master to solve the problem of ghost painting and take out the token. Qin starts crying and said, "These really are the Buddhist beads of the nunnery." She then tells Lin that Master Chu used last bit of her strength to send out the remaining 10 women of the temple. She was the only one left to fight against the ghost painting. After they came out, they never heard any news about the master and the ghost painting, and since there are still many remnants of the Y family, so they lived incognito for 50 years. She was crying, saying she is incompetent, and she feel bad when she thought that the master remains are still exposed to the wilderness. Yu then addressed her as grandma and said they brought out the remains of the nunnery master. After a while, they buried her remains and Lin said if the master knew that they all survived, she must have been very pleased. Suddenly, Qin sensed the master's energy and said she is Qin, and she is still alive. After some time, Lin and the sisters returned to Pingcheng City. Everyone in the city gets amazed by the ghost horse and took its picture to post it to the forum. Lin and the others then arrived at the Ghost Masters Association, which was made up of gold. Lin thought gold is a strategic material that he need in large quantities, and it cannot be bought with money, so the only way is to buy through the association. They were waiting for half an hour, but still couldn't meet the president. A receptionist then came and informed them that the president is on a business trip today, so they need to come back another day. While leaving, she was thinking about, the president is not someone anyone can meet as soon as they say. Suddenly, Lin heard the Ghost Masters saying that the president came out. Lei Zhen, the president of the Ghost Masters Association, was telling his men to hurry up, as he is late for the meeting. Lin went near him and said he has something to ask, but the president tells him to go away as he is busy. But Lin said his name is Lin Feng. He is from Liu City and is a special commissioner of the Ghost Masters. Zheng replied he has never heard of that name, and scolds Lin for lying to him. Suddenly, they heard someone saying, "President Zheng, why are you so ignorant?" It was a beautiful woman who asked if he hasn't heard of the famous Liu City's hero. President Zheng then greeted her and addressed her as Master Ying Rui. She asked him if the President Zheng not care about the growth of the newcomers and only knows how to rely on the official position. Zheng looked at Lin while thinking, just who is this brat? She then introduced herself to Lin and tells everyone that this is the hero Lin Feng, who repelled the ghost tide 1 year ago. Lin shakes hand while thinking, a woman with such aura should have a high official position. Everyone starts whispering about who Lin is, as he actually got the appreciation of the headquarters elders. President Zheng quickly changed his attitude, saying, how could he not recognize a young hero? Rui then tells Lin and the president to follow her, so they can have a chat together. After a while, Zheng was saying that selling gold is no problem and asked how much he wants. Lin said he wants 1,000 square meters of gold paper and 50 kilograms of gold paint. Zheng shockingly said there are indeed some reserve gold bricks in the Ghost Master Association, but there are not so many gold papers. Zheng tells them that Pingcheng is different from High City as it is run by 6 big families. Their reserves are plentiful, but the demand is a bit big. Lin said he doesn't know much about the price of gold, so can Chairman Zheng calculate it for him? Zheng replied with a smile that it would be at least 2 billion contribution points, thinking, a brat couldn't have this much of money. Rui interrupted, saying, even with the money he can't buy the materials he wants, because what the 6 families really wants are some useful ghost tools and ghost spirits. Lin had 1 billion contribution points, so he decides to sell the ghost of the old guy in Xuan Hua's ghost domain. After the ghost master who sneaked up on him was killed, ghosts and spirits have been suppressed in the Hua's ghost domain. He then take out the spirit token and asked President Zheng how much can he sell this for. Rui then summoned her ghost to check the level of the ghost spirit Lin has. And to their surprise, it was of Abyss level 1. She shockingly shouted, Abyss level 1 ownerless spirit, how can he have such a rare baby? She said, if he is willing to sell it rather than keeping it for himself, then it means that he is already a ghost master of the same rank. Lin replied yes he is, and Rui said he is more powerful than she imagined. She explained, as long as it is used well, it will take less than 10 years to create a demon-level ghost master. This kind of value cannot be obtained by billions of contribution points. Zheng accepted the ghost token while saying, he will release the news and arrange the auction in 3 days, and the base price will be the material Lin wanted. Rui thought, for this ghost spirit, the 6 major families will definitely fight for their heads, just in time for them to bleed a fortune. As Lin was thanking Rui, she asks if they can speak in private. Outside, she said it's sunny and Lin replied, he always thought it was amazing that they could artificially dispel the haze. Rui said, the sunshine in the city is not because of what they do, simply because there are enough humans there. She continued that many people now feel that mankind has risen again after a century of dark ages. But the Ghost Masters know that human beings have just gained firm foothold. One mistake, there is still danger of destruction. Therefore, the Ghost Master Alliance will continue to absorb talents for training. For example, someone like him, and what's more, he is an invisible spirit just like her, and there are only 5 invisible bodies in the entire world. Lin thought, no wonder she is so young. But even though he respects her so much, he can't say that he is actually not an invisible body, but an even more heaven-defying system. She then tells him that his leader Yan mentioned him to her, and Lin gets shocked to know that she knows leader Yan. He thought, after coming out, he hasn't even bothered to contact Chairman Yan, and as more than a year has passed, he don't know how will she react. Rui said, according to Yan, he likes freedom and doesn't want to be bound by the alliance. She understands that, but she still tells him to come to the headquarters to cultivate. Lin wondered, why does everyone wants to be his teacher, but he should accept, so he can go to the Golden Prison to collect Umbrella Ghosts. He asked her if he can go to prison before making a decision, and Rui immediately agreed. After Lin left, the president arrived and informed Rui that the 6 major families have already received the news, and some wants him to sell them directly. Rui said no one should promise, and ordered Zheng to let them wait for 3 days. Lin returned back, where Yu happily tells him that she and her sister brought a batch to buy tools. She explained that they found 5 prestigious old carpenters, and they were responsible for recruiting 30 people quickly. Lin said it's great, as 30 people should be enough to complete the frame of the golden house. One of the senior carpenters said he just wants to build a cubic-strong wooden house in 3 days, then remove the paper card. He created a blueprint already that he showed to Lin. Lin then tells Yu that he is planning to go to the headquarters with Rui tonight, so she tells him to not worry and go, and guarantees to complete the work. Lin was still a little worried, but then she reminds him that she is now a S-rank Ghost Master. Lin then asked her secretly how did she find this many people so quickly, and she explained that she offered 5,000 contribution points as salary, and 500 points commission for each recruited person. Lin smiled after hearing that and said he didn't expect her to be so smart. He pats her head while saying he is really impressed by her. After a while, when Lin said his goodbye to her, Tong suddenly came out of the token. He gets scared since Tong was pouting in anger. He figured that she is jealous because he touched Yu's head. He pats her head as well and tells her to not worry, and that he won't dare to do it next time. Then, later at night, Lin arrived outside the Ghost Masters Association headquarters. Rui was already waiting for him, and then she tells him that they should be there by tomorrow morning. She summoned her spirit charm and tells her to open the ghost domain. Lin looked at the domain and thought it's a bit similar to the moving Jijeon ghost domain, but Hua and the others can't do it yet. They entered the portal and reached outside a beautiful haunted area. She said that they have left Pingcheng, and then tells him to board the ship. After a while, she said that he will live in the room at the stern later, and he can get there after a night of sleep. Lin then tells her that he wants to get an S-level evil spirit from the prison, but he doesn't know what conditions are required. Rue said it's okay, but he is already an Earth Ghost Master, so why he wants just an S-rank evil spirit. But then she said this S-rank ghost must have quite special abilities if he wants that, and Lin replied positively to that. Rui said that prison ghosts need alliance merit, but she will give it to him, and in exchange, he just has to make it up to her, so Lin thanked her for helping. She was so close to his face, and he asked about Leader Yan. She smiled, saying, it turns out that he care about Yan, so she understand. She tells him that as far as she knows, Yan parents are well-known ghost masters in High City. She was sent to the headquarters for training since she was born. However, the physic body cultivated since childhood also needs to fulfill its obligations for the association when it grows up. Yan was a good student, she is quite beautiful, and there are a lot of people chasing her, so she can be regarded as a heartthrob. It is said that there are still many famous geniuses going to the Zhu family to propose marriage, so he has to be careful. But Lin gets too shocked after hearing her say that. He said he is sleepy, so he is going to bed, and will call her tomorrow morning. After a while, Lin was checking his communication device inside his room. He was reading Leader Yan's message, how she was worried for him for this past year and asking him when he will return to the high city. Lin thought, it turns out that she has sent so many messages before and has been following his movements. He wondered if it's because of that night that she cares about him so much. Then the second day, they reached the golden prison of the Ghost Master Alliance. They went near the gate and Rui showed her ID to the guards. As the door of the prison was opening, Lin was thinking of the ghost clone of the third umbrella. Inside, Rui tells him that multi-factory authentication and biometric scanning are required. Lin gets shocked after seeing everything, thinking it's 100 times of the secret room that he saw in High City's Lord Mansion. He said it's too much gold and asked Rui about the price, and she replied that the contribution points are no longer countable in this. After walking for a while, they reach near the ghost prison cells and finds an old woman named Zhu, the prison chief. Rui greeted her and praised her for being energetic, but Granny Zhu said she only has some years and then she will have to choose a golden house to die. Rui tells her to quit joking and then introduced Lin to her. Granny pinched his cheek and asked what kind of ghosts he is looking for. Lin replied, it's in the form of the oil paper umbrella and should be around S rank. She thought for a while, saying there seemed to be several umbrella-shaped ghosts, but there should be only one S rank. She then take him outside the ghost cell of the umbrella ghost and said, this should be the one. She tells him to take a look at the umbrella and see if this is what he is looking for. Lin looked in it and said, this is the one. Granny Zhu tells them, although it was only S level, at that time, a ghost master of Earth rank was almost killed by it, but luckily, another master defeated it. Rui asked why is it so powerful, since the gap between S rank and Earth rank is too much, and Zhu revealed, according to the logs, there was an orange umbrella that escaped at that time. Lin understands that the umbrella was in the combined state, but after being defeated, it became a clone and then it was reduced to S rank. Zhu added that this ghost is extremely resistant to everyone. There were a few physic-bodied who wanted to try it, but they all failed to control it. It is estimated that even if it is barely controlled, it is uncontrollable, so she asked Lin if he still wants to try it, and he replied positively. She takes out the umbrella from the room and tells him to get ready for it. And as soon as the umbrella got out and tried to escape, it gets scared after seeing Granny Zhu, and bows in front of her. It then fall into Lin's hand, and the orange umbrella in his storage sensed it, and for completing the mission, Lin get 10 favorability points. Granny Zhu gets shocked and said, how can this be? The evil spirit didn't resist at all, it's like they know each other. The system notified that he reached 50 bonds point with the ghost umbrella, so he can bind it now. Lin agreed to bind, and as soon as the binding gets complete, his lifespan increased by 10%. Zhu said it's strange, she has lived for so many years and has never seen such a peaceful contact process, and Rui also agrees with her. Lin asked if he can take this ghost umbrella away, and Rui replied she already used credit points to redeem it, so of course he can take it. Zhu then gives him a golden bag, saying he can put the umbrella in it. Lin then blushed while asking if she knows where the ghost number 55 is. Rui chuckled, saying the one that Yan wants, so she even tell him this as well, and Zhu explained that the female Shura once destroyed a city, so it depends on her fortune if she can unblock it or not. While they were saying goodbye, Zhu tells Rui to find a good man like Lin and get married, but Rui said she doesn't care about men. While leaving, Lin asked if they are going to the Ghost Master Alliance now, but she said he just harvested ghost spirits, so he should rest in her house first. After some time, in Rui Mansion, she was saying, yes, that's it, don't stop. Lin was asking her if she is sure that it can be used to take a bath. She replied of course, and the mud at the bottom of this mountain is rich in trace elements, especially gold. She said gold can not only skin care and antioxidation, but also has the effect of whitening and calming the nerves. Lin was thinking, people are in short supply of gold to save their lives, but she is using it for skincare. After a while, when Lin was leaving, Rui asked if he wants to join her in the bath, but he refused immediately. He thought he always feel that women and female ghosts in this world are very dangerous. Inside his room, Lin decides to study the ghost umbrella. As soon as he released the umbrella, it summoned him into his ghost territory. Lin asked the umbrella if the other two umbrellas are its clones, and the umbrella nodded. Lin wondered if after combining it will take human form like Hua and Tong, and then asked the umbrella if it has any other form than umbrella. Lin then noticed it writing something in the sky. It writes, when he combines 3 umbrella, they will gain human form. Lin remembered that to combine the 3 umbrellas, the requirement is 150 points, so he decides to increase points by upgrading the ghost domain first. He used the fragments to increase its territory until it reached the upper limit, and he gained 72 points for that. Then, a thought crossed his mind as he tells the umbrella to stop flying. He first cleaned its body for 2 more points, and then the system informed him that for reaching 100 points, he can combine 2 umbrellas into one. The orange and the blue umbrella then combined with each other and transformed into a golden umbrella. Then the next morning, Rui asked Lin if the new ghost is causing him trouble. But then to her surprise, Lin tells her that he already mastered it. She thought, even for her to control a spirit lower than her level, take about a week, yet he just did it in a single night. She smiled, saying, he really is not an ordinary human, and then tells him to get ready as they are going to the headquarters for a stroll. After a while, Rui tells him that the palace on the hill next to the golden prison is the hall of discussion, and the base below is the headquarters. This is the safest place in the world, but also the most dangerous place, so there are not many people. They reached outside the Ghost Master Alliance headquarters and seized the giant statues in front of it. One of it was Lei Wen, the Ghost Master who killed 2 dream-level ghosts in one fell swoop and saves the entire East. Suddenly, someone came running to Rui and informed her that the students Yin and Liang from the heavenly class are going to be on the stage of life and death. She gets disappointed while thinking, the fate of the human beings is going to be handed over to this group of people, who are pretentious and ignorant. Inside, both students were on the stage, ready to attack each other. Suddenly, they heard everyone shouting, Teacher Rui is here. She went close to them and asked, aren't they the most outstanding people in the 18 years old age group? And they replied positively. She shouted, but unexpectedly, they are fighting each other for women, and asked if they think that they are invincible. She said, they are not above every ghost master out there, and there are many who can defeat them easily. She then tells Lin to call his ghost spirit to show them what it means to be strong. Lin summoned Tong and everyone gets surprised, since she was an abyss-level spirit. A girl checked the website and shouted, according to the official website of the Alliance, Lin Feng is just 16 years old. One of the boys said, it's not possible, and who knows if this ghost was bought. But then, the ghost umbrella came out and scared the hell out of them, as it was on the abyss rank as well. Everyone starts shouting Lin's name, saying he actually has 2 abyss-level ghost spirits. The boy was begging for his life, saying he was wrong, so please don't kill him. Rui was thinking, this ghost umbrella was a S rank yesterday, so how did it become an abyss rank? And what secrets is Lin Feng hiding? Then the girl, for which the 2 boys were fighting, asked Rui if Lin really is 16 years old, since he is so tall, handsome, and looks like an adult, and Rui replied positively. She then stared at the boys and asked if they still thinks that they are above everyone, and they quickly apologized. She said, as the pillar of the country, fighting and internal friction completely embarrassed the headquarters, so 500 credit points will be deducted from both of the boys. They were crying and looking at the girl from earlier, who turned away from them. As Lin and Rui was leaving, the guys and girls were talking about joining Lin's support club, and one of them decides to write an article on him to publish. After a while, Rui asked Lin if he is interested in studying and if he likes the headquarters. He replied, it is even better than he expected, but it's not for him, so she asked him the reason for that. Lin said he grew up in adversity since he was a child, but he is not used to living such a good life. Besides, with his current strength he can already fight most of the evil spirits that threaten the city. Rui understand that he wants to save more people rather than upgrading, so she praised him for having such thoughts at his age.